Hello there and welcome to this week of Rugby League, and of course a busy one for us again. We'll be seeing the highlights of the National Panasonic Cup match that was played before a record crowd in Lismore during the week between Canterbury and South Sydney, and it was a narrow squeak for Canterbury Bankstown to continue on in the Rich Cup series. We'll see some highlights of the Commonwealth Bank Cup played between Tweed River High and Ballina High. In particular, when you watch that match, you'll see a centre from Ballina by the name of Roger Roberts. He's a brilliant young player. Wally Lewis has forecast that he could go all the way and wear the green and gold of Australia, and that's a very big rap from a mighty fine footballer. As well as that, we're going to see the highlights of a stunning victory by Penrith against North Sydney at Penrith Park last Saturday. And of course the main body of the program will be consumed by the NEC big game between Balmain and Parramatta, and what a match that was, one that Balmain will be very quick to forget, and Parramatta of course will have lasting memories of it. But first things first, let's go back to Lismore now and have a look at the highlights of a match that remained trialless until the final siren between Canterbury and South Sydney. Here's the Canterbury team for you, with of course Steve Mortimer out. His absence needs no further explanation. Terry Lamb goes to 7, Michael Hagan 6, Dunn is at 11, and he will have to be contained if Souths are to win. Talking of Souths, well, they've been knocked about by injuries. Their entire front row is gone. I was looking forward to seeing this young man called Roberts, but his place has been taken indirectly by young Christie. Boyle will do his job, but Phil Sigsworth's brother Ron is an unknown quantity at hooker. But with Baker and Gould both as good kickers in four-quarter football, Souths could pull off an upset. From Oaks Oval at Lismore, another very big country crowd as referee Giles O'Donnell takes to the field. A beautiful night for watching Rugby League, and I guess for playing it as well, as that bounce beats Bronco de Jura and almost sat up in the in goal and obliged him to pick it up and run it out. In fact, it may have been better had it done that, because now his side is placed in the invidious position of a line dropout.
Mario, I'm just looking at the Canterbury tactics here. All this kicking in four-quarter football has become so important. A couple of specialists for the South side also, Phil Gould and Neil Baker.
Yeah, well, Canterbury play a very smart type of football. They play percentage and they try to keep you in your own 22, and it's a sort of percentage game that puts you under a great deal of pressure. And blokes like Phil Gould and Neil Baker are experienced players, and they're going to take us through this tough period.
Well, it's a lower back strain for yourself. You're available for the weekend?
At this stage, I'm pretty sore, but I think I should be right for Sunday.
All right, thanks, mate.
Canterbury on the attack again then, as it comes through three sets of hands. It cuts out Langmack, goes on to Chris Mortimer, and he's pulled down and tackled just outside the South Sydney 22 line. From dummy half goes Hagan, just taking it towards the 10-metre line in field, and you can stand by. I would expect Lamb to bomb here. Here he is, the number 7. Up it goes. Not a bad looker either. De Jura again under pressure. Gillespie's coming quickly, and Gillespie crunches him over that dead ball line. So he stood his ground, of course, as well as he could, but this is the new rule that you're about to see. It'll come out for the 22 place kick restart. And they take that tap very quickly. Dual tackle and a solid one from Dunn and Gillespie on Pobji. Christie's with it now. Gould at dummy half. He's looking for Baker all the time. He's looking for Baker. Boyle goes up. He looks like he's got blood coming from a gash across the top of the nose. David Boyle, he's bleeding quite profusely from a facial wound. That's a bad pass. That's a terrible pass to give your kicker. Up around, well, Potter has obligingly come back with a drop, with a knock on, but goodness gracious me, if you're going to throw a pass to a man for a clearing kick, at least give him some chance to protect himself. Here's Potter as South take the scrum, and here's Baker working with De Jura, and Hagan wraps him up with Chris Mortimer's help. 33 metres from the Canterbury line. A game highlighted by its kicking thus far. Andrews is the man playing the ball. Now it's Gould taking it up to his old teammates. Gould is a story in Rugby League week as a penalty goes to South. Here's a scoring opportunity, and what a scoring opportunity with Baker to take the kick from right in front. 23 metres out. It's against Paul Langmack, the number 8. O'Donnell has penalised Canterbury. So here's Baker from right in front. He doesn't miss these very often. 24 metres out, he's got this one too. It was getting away, but South Sydney grabbed the first points in the National Panasonic. They lead 2-0 over Canterbury. Now Johnston to dummy half. Away now to Hagan. Here's Gillespie. Oh, that was a big hit by Gould on Gillespie. Shoulder to shoulder.
Canterbury going to have to introduce a lot more variety into their play. South will keep tackling them all day.
Oh, what a hit that was, Billy. Coleman switching at blind side, and that's Christie. He went up with plenty of enthusiasm, but Canterbury met him with an equal amount. Here's Ron Sigsworth. Well, of course, you know that he played a lot of fullback, Sigsworth. He's played in the three-quarter line. He's fast out of dummy half. This is Boyle. And that's good driving defence by the Bulldogs, Langmack and Gillespie. It's come to Baker. He puts a chip over the top. This is a good kick. Oh, stacks on the mill. Very, very close stuff. I'm just waiting. The touch judge is saying it came off South Sydney. So there's the kick. Here's the Foster's Lager replay. See it again. It's Chris Mortimer taking the line kick. Big Dunn in 11. I think I said in the first quarter he came from North. I'm thinking of Paul McCabe. As we find Callanan with the ball now. Canterbury only a matter of 2 metres out. As the ball comes across the back to Folks, he dummies to Lamb. The defence got up quick and turned Folks back inside.
Just as well they did, because Canterbury had extras out wide.
They're only about 5 metres out from the line. Now they're back to 15. Now they're outside the 22. That's how wide and deep they were. With 3 passes, they came back 15 metres. But now they've got a bit of space, and this is Peter Mortimer. And he's tackled just inside the 22-metre line. 15 metres in from touch. Penalty to Canterbury. It's against the marker. In this case, Michael Pobgy. And a great chance for Terry Lamb to equalise. So Lamb is right on the 22. He's 15 in from touch. There's no breeze to worry about. Hits it with the head down. He's got it. Good kick. And the scoreline at Lismore is 2 points all. The Bulldogs and the Rabbitohs. There's 3 penalties, all differentials. So it's indicative that Souths are having some scrummaging problems there. Here's Steve Folks, who's come out the other side of the tunnel, puts the hip into another. Good run by the nuggety second rower.
And there you have one of the most underrated second rowers in the game.
Lamb, now Hagan. Good tackle on Hagan by Baker. Smother tackle. It's Potter. Inside the 22, picked up in defence by David Boyle, but Canterbury are on the boil at the moment. They're looking very dangerous. Big Dunn crashes into them.
That's where I like to see him running, about 2 out off the ruck.
5 tackles gone. Here comes the little grubber from Terry Lamb, and he puts his foot to it a second time. He wasn't happy with the first impact, and he gave it another little boot on. Here's Potter coming into the back line. De Jura cancels his opposite out. Now it's Langmack. Folks is having a big game.
Canterbury are masters at this pressure football inside the opposition's quarter, and now they've got Souths right where they want them.
This is Gillespie running second man for Folks. And they're about 9 metres out from the line, Canterbury, as Lamb goes to the blind. They've stacked the blind. Dunn, can he get it away? Dunn, no, it's gone over the touchline. Well, it looked almost odds on that Canterbury were going to score when Lamb went from the open to the blind. I thought for a moment he'd given them the numbers. Time running out. Can they score before half-time? Langmack running as a second man, back the other way. Canterbury, 3 tackles gone. Johnston through Chris Mortimer to Michael Hagan. Hagan, big pirouette, and still looking to get rid of it. That's 4 tackles. They're 9 metres out. Terry Lamb finds Peter Tunks. They've got to smother him up. There's the 5th tackle. 5 tackles. I thought that was the siren. The players are screaming at the referee. It was indeed the siren. So Souths were able to hold the pressure out. Canterbury and Souths go to the break. 2 points all. As we find Souths now inside the 22 on the 2nd tackle of 6 at their disposal at the moment. This is Sigsworth, 10 metres out from the Canterbury line. The crowd roaring now for the Rabbits. Coleman throws the cutout ball, and it's Andrew, or Chisholm, who's tackled. Andrews it was, I beg your pardon. They come back to the blind, and Gould throws a dummy inside before asking Christie to go ahead on the outside. He'll play the ball, and Gould is the dummy half. He may go for a grubber kick across the ground. No, he's found Boyle, and Boyle it is, who's still going to within 9 metres. So they've left it until the 5th tackle. Canterbury are calling for extras out on the right. That's Baker with the ball. He's gone for the drop goal. I like it. It's a good kick. Phil Gould applauds before the referee signifies that it was a goal. So that sends South Sydney to a 3-2 lead. And that already gives Footy Tab... oh, gee! Did you see that replay? I wouldn't like to be a referee trying to award a point there. In fact, looking at the replay, there's a big question mark on it. This is Phil Gould on the 32-metre line. Kicked down ground by Baker, a stabbing type of kick, and there it is, crossing the touchline midway between 22 and halfway on the Canterbury end of the ground. Neil Baker, he spends a lot of time just kicking a football around the playing fields at Parramatta Marist High. He lives adjacent to that school, and he uses their grounds just to practice his kicking. If you're looking for him in his spare time, that's exactly where you'll find him, Baker. Oh, put down there by the second rower for South. Chisholm and Canterbury are going to try and work this ball on the first. Here's Hagan, and Hagan has tackled 9 metres his side of the halfway. Played back to Matthew Callanan, and Callanan is met by Gould, coming over the top, Sigsworth. And now away to Terry Lamb. He's gone through the little fellow. Billy Johnston backs him up well. They're 10 metres into South territory. Canterbury now coming back the other way with Tunks holding it up, looking for somebody. Finds Steve Folkes. Folkes gains another 5 or 6 metres, and he's pulled down about 35 metres out from the South line. To Lamb, is he favouring that leg? I'm just looking at him as in the back players. Paul Dunn goes ahead to the 32-metre. No, he looks okay. Lamb is, it's the 5th tackle. They go for the drop goal, and that's as sweet as they come, I'd suggest to you. That's the equaliser. Coming off the boot of Chris Mortimer, I do believe. I was looking at Lamb on that monitor, but there it is. Straight over the dot. Some fragile tackles in that front line.
Well, probably the biggest difference between the two sides at the moment is the Canterbury forwards are looking to offload the ball when they're held in tackle.
Oh, what a tackle!
That was a great hit by Christie, a young fellow that probably has been looking to find his feet in the game, and that was a tremendous hit. Look, he picked him up, rolled him over, and then finished on top and drove the shoulder in.
Oh, Folkes is down. He felt that tackle, Steve Folkes, and just behind him, Paul Dunn is injured too. So at the moment, Canterbury's only got 11 players.
They won't be able to pack a scrum.
Well, Dunn's on his feet. Dunn's on his feet, but Folkes is still recovering from a monster of a tackle from Christie. It was legitimate. Costly loss there for South Sydney. Canterbury winning the scrum against the feed.
It's one of those times we were talking about earlier in the match where you can put a ball downfield, find touch, and then come up and be able to apply pressure because you win the ball from the set scrum.
So Terry Lamb has got the opportunity from 20 metres out now to land a penalty goal that will put Canterbury in front by 2 points. Here's Terry Lamb. No worries. Head down over the ball and straight over the dot. So Canterbury are leading South by 5-3. 5-3 in favour of Canterbury, the score. And now the scrummaging becomes a major problem for Souths. It could well be the rock that they will perish on. In fact, it's the one that they are perishing on at the moment. As we find Gillespie playing at 15 out. Here comes Dunn on the run. That came off his knee. And it was taken in goal by De Jura. You see it again. Dunn puts it down. He gets his knee or his foot to the ball. De Jura picks it up. Johnston plays it. Tunks gets away from one. Having a blinder of a game, Tunks. He's, in my opinion, at the moment, the best player on the ground. Here comes another drop goal for the little fellow. He's got this one, I believe. Yes, another drop goal for Canterbury. There it is on the head-on. No questions about it. Sigsworth, you might have seen his legs give a little bit of a kick. It's not the most pleasant thing to go through, but it's got to be done. Here's Baker. Baker, he's chasing keenly, but Terry Lamb was equal to the task. Smart little piece of play, particularly after that timeout for injury. They had plenty of time to think about it, rehearse it. And standing open side, he went blind side, put a little kick over the top. This is Potter to play it. Now Langmack, Canterbury need only to... Whoa. Well, they've lost it there. I was about to say Canterbury need only to play no-frills football. And a penalty comes up for Souths. Langmack lost it. French dived on it. Then Johnston wrestled for it before the ball came out. Baker's kick straight over the dot. Beautiful kick. Not a difficult one for him. His team leading, trailing now by just 1 point, 6-5. This is done. Midway 22, halfway on the south end of the ground. Back now for the folks. Johnston's gone into dummy half. Here's Tunks taking it up on the blind. Met there by Gould and also by Sigsworth. Potter. Holding the ball for long periods of time. Very much an ingredient that Canterbury needs in this last quarter. And that's a good kick. This could be a try. Callanan picked it up, dropped it. Webb's got the ball for Souths. Oh, that was a let-off for Canterbury. Gillespie. Hit and spin to Peter Mortimer, now to Matthew Callanan. Held there by Michael Pobji. Swung back to the left through Folkes to Dunn. 5 tackles gone for the Bulldogs. What will Terry Lamb do here? It's gone to Folkes on the right, with blood coming from his nose, and 6 tackles. It's a turnover. That's the first in the match. As it goes out to Baker, on it goes through, out to De Jura. Oh, and Ross, he knew what he had to do when he got the football, but he didn't have the football. Across now to Lamb. Lamb stepping off his left, then to Callanan. Callanan underneath a swarm of rabbits. Or is it a warren of rabbits? I'm not sure. Bugden! 5 metres out from the South Sydney line. 5 tackles gone. Here comes the little fellow again. A grubber kick. Oh, a mean bounce. Beautifully covered up, in fact, by the number 17 for Souths. Matthew Cruikshank. That's the Foster's Lager replay, and young Cruikshank had more than a handful. Thank goodness what he did have in his hand was a football. Baker's failed to find touch.
Tried to bite off just a little bit too much.
That is the end of the section as the siren sounds in the background. Canterbury has defeated South Sydney by 6 points to 5. A match with no tries. Lamb 2 goals and a drop goal. Chris Mortimer a drop goal. But for South's Neil Baker, 2 penalties and a field goal. Canterbury 6, South Sydney 5. That's the final scoreline from Lismore in this National Panasonic.
Take it as the fellow we've raved about already, Roger Roberts. So he finds touch about 13 metres out from Tweed High's goal line. Evans coming on to O'Brien, but well contained by Cairns around his hips. Again, this is Joyce. Nice pass out beautifully. Oh, they're in. That was well timed, Richard Sulik. So they've opened the night with try number 1 and gave them the Dickens up the blind. Well done, and they lead by 4 points to 2.
This was a very well-planned try by Ballina. It went to Joyce, and we can see he threw a pass across the face of another player. That caused the defence to leave Sulak. He was running into free space, and over he goes.
Sulak. Good attacking flair, but it was nice movement here from Joyce. Gives it through to him nicely and is able to score that try. And it's 6 points to 2 in favour of Ballina from Lismore. Sly is midfield. Upended by Kempnich. Clearance again from Roberts. Coming in for it is Simmons. Takes it well. Trying to outpace his opposite. Joyce is up there to harness him well. And Ian Marley was having a crack at it as well. Bolt. At least Taylor losing it. Roberts, this is Bolt. Watch him fly. Oh boy, can this fella run? Oh, he could sprint in gumboots. They wouldn't catch him. It's a try. 8 points to 2. Ballina and looking good.
Scored by number 3, Alistair Bolt.
A try here that came from a Tweed mistake. The player was held in the tackle, lost the ball. It was then a matter of scooping it up, which was done by the number 6, Joyce. He fired it onto his centre partner, Roger Roberts. And what a good player he is. He drew the defence, shifted it back onto Bolt. And Bolt, we'd been told by his coach what a good runner with the ball he was. And here we can see it. The cover defence was coming across in the form of Pyle. He got to him just near the line, but was unable to hang on, got him by the shorts. But Bolt pulled free of that tackle and went in for a great try.
Conversion to come, Roberts. Oh, you wouldn't read about it. You saw it hit the woodwork. So the score remains 8 points to 2. Ballina against Tweed High. Ballina leading at Lismore in our Commonwealth Bank Cup. Polglaze to the corner for being contained by Scott Evans. Now, Kempnich. Good run, Pop. 12 metres out from Ballina's goal line. Spread left and right. Morrissey. Kempnich now. Rubbers it through. Oh, Evans has missed it. Referee Loft says no try. And it's 10-2 in favour of Ballina leading Tweed High.
Good tactic, this one. The little grubber kick in behind the defensive line. And Tweed had a great chance of coming up with that one. The number 12 missed the ball, and Tweed just couldn't quite get to it.
And Hayward slow to his feet. Going for a quick run is Morrissey. Northern New South Wales under-16 representative, a school prefect, cricket and athletics all-rounder. And here comes Pyle again, forever on the run, this fella. Kempnich. Oh, and then they're in. Staged revival, snap back well. Tweed High, Combo, I think the try scorer. Combo, the try scorer. And by gee, didn't they pack a punch first of all from Pyle, then the little grubber by Kempnich, mishandled, and they're in.
It was a good grubber kick by Kempnich. He realised the defence was coming up quickly and there was no fullback at home. He just put the little grubber kick through in goal. I thought he was going to get to it himself, but it was a well-deserved try for Combo, who hasn't stopped trying all night.
With Kempnich trying for the conversion. 10-8 it is. Ballina leading Tweed High.
Converted by David Richardson.
10-8.
Ballina High 10.
Now Kempnich. Morrissey switching play. Nicely to the right. Pyle to the corner. Good tackle coming in was Tim O'Malley. Now, Kentridge. And there straight away, Michael Fay over the top, at least Bennett over the top, Young beneath. Now Morrissey again.
Well, he's a good player, this fellow.
Isn't he ever? Combo. Trapped. And still 15 metres out from Ballina's goal line. Morrissey again. Lays a pass on for Polglaze. Looped over the top. Combo feeding Kempnich. Gets it back well to Combo, but he was offside, intentionally forward. So the penalty is with Ballina. Again is Mark Sly, their skipper, Brett Group 1 under 19s. He refuses to buckle in tackles and when he's running. Dean feeding it to Joyce. Roberts, 3 up he is. Lovely pass, Searle, again it's a bomb.
Well, Roberts is reading play very well. Ballina took the play 2 settlers into the centre. Roberts floated back on the blind side, got himself 3 off the ruck. He was running into a hole. He did everything right. He positioned his wing, and maybe the pass was just a touch over his shoulder.
Evans. The 3, and Darren Bailey coming onto the ball. Well driven back by Pyle in association with Combo. Now Joyce. Long pass, beautiful to Serlich. Oh, they're in. Lovely try from Ballina that time. They rolled an ace then. The fans loved it. It was Joyce changing direction, a nice cracker, and the speed of Sulik took it on over.
This was almost the same try as their first one. It was a play into the centre and then firing the ball back to Joyce. He threw the ball across the face of a receiver, picked up his fullback Sulak, and just as in the opening minutes, he was running into a gap once again.
Lovely try. Here it is on replay once more. This is Joyce, right across the face of his centre. And Sulik comes onto the ball nicely, and as Bill says, a carbon copy of try number 1. And he's 30 metres out from Tweed's goal line. Evans through Diet, finding Young, offloading it to Kayla. And Kempnich and Combo in combination there. Diet feeding Roberts. Roberts trying to show his wares, and a lovely burst of speed. Oh, gee whiz, weren't they lucky? Can he offload it still to Bolt? Oh, what a play.
Can't he play, this fella? Steps off both feet, acceleration and position supports outside him.
Well, they're still going, Ballina. They're on the charge and in the van, and they've whacked it back to Evans. Brought down about 5 metres out from the goal line, if they can spread it. Now it's with Diet. Goes for the fly himself. Lovely pass. Oh, yeah. What a lovely try from Ballina. A flash of magic from 2 players, Diet and Roberts, and bang, the imprint on the game, both of them.
That's classy football. Diet summed up the situation fairly well. He ran to the line, something he hasn't done a lot of tonight. He took the defence on. He realised he could get in behind Pyle, got his hands around the back, and it was Roberts that came flashing onto that ball to go over under the uprights.
He won't need a cannon here. Flights it well, the points are up. It's 20-8 in favour of Ballina. They've come home like celery stalks at the moment. Now Ballina in full flight again. Diet whipping it to Joyce. On it goes to Roberts. Cutting out one. Oh, Sulik is there! And had on the outside O'Malley, but couldn't get his pass away. But great attacking football from the 3 quarters as Sly, their skipper, takes it forward for Ballina. It's the last one for the Sky Blues. Laid back. Up comes Young, and Young looking to offload. Joyce gets it out, O'Malley going for the line. He's got support from Sulik.
Good defence.
Oh, good defence, and Sulik going back to get it 10 metres out. Coach is Michael Ross for Ballina. And for those of you in Sydney who remember Balmain fullback of the 70s, he had a sharp turn of speed and used his defence skills to full advantage. In fact, it's an all-old Sydney job. Trainer Lynn Burtonwood is the former West Reserve grade half and right Eastwood first grade side.
Look at this bloke.
Look at this and go. Roberts again up to halfway, offloading to Sulik. Sulik trailing like a faithful terrier and dumped by McIntosh. Now it's Roberts feeding Diet, looking for the break. Closing with a tackle from Richardson. Copybook stuff. Laid off by Bennett. Through Roberts. Nicely run Joyce. He's a good player. Looking for support. He'll get it from Marlowe on the right. Didn't seem. Little chip over. Saved by Taylor. Forward on a big charge. About 25 metres out from Tweed High's goal line. Dig it again. finding a good runner in Cairns. Sly, at least, their skipper. They're locked forward to the quarter. Done and ceremoniously by Amos. Quick ball to Deet. Now Joyce again handles it. On to Bolt. With the dummy. Feeds beautifully. Roberts, how can I get through here? He says, oh, do you mind? Thank you very much indeed. And it's 24-8 in favour of Ballina. Oh, what a play.
Once again, it was the blindside raid by Ballina that was able to set up the try for them. It was very good handling from the inside backs. The ball very quickly found its way to Alastair Bolt. He dummied it first and was able to push his way in behind the defence, and then he gave the ball to Roberts. Now just watch his footwork here. A little in, and then back away off the right foot. He's got so much acceleration, they couldn't put a hand on him.
Well, he's just a marvel in speed and a marvel in just the way he thinks, and just had to have a look at him here with lovely lead-up work by Bolt, and Bolt feeds Roberts now, and just have a look at him, and I mean, he just blew him to the wind. And Waitigo gets it out. There's the little Joyce going back for it. He attended the summer camp number 6 out there for Ballina at the Armidale University, and isn't he outstanding in general play? So Roberts floats one over to Bolt. Backing up beautifully, Roberts again. Is there nothing this fella can't do? And he goes for his next second try, third try. Who says Lightning doesn't strike 3 times in the same spot?
He started it all, you know. He threw a magnificent long pass which initiated the move. You'll see it coming up here in a moment. Now look for this. He positioned the outside support. It was a long ball. Found his centre partner Bolt, who was in a little bit of a hole. He was able to get through the first tackle. Then he looked back inside, and Roberts had backed up, and it was just a matter of shut the gate from here. This fellow has got blistering pace. He is a champion footballer.
Well, I know we have the old footy tab, but this has been a Lismore Mozza here tonight in the discovery of Roberts. Here is Bolt through, and have a look at this Roberts. Have a look at the acceleration of this young man. He's thinking all the time. He's in every phase of play, justifiably racing in for 3 tries. So the score remains in our Commonwealth Bank Cup match from Lismore. Ballina looking very good. Ahead of Tweed River, 28-8.
Well, last Saturday, the North Sydney Bears were trying to make it 3 in a row in the Winfield Cup. They travelled to Penrith Park, but unfortunately, they ran into a much revamped Penrith outfit.
Jones pumps it out for the touchline. Great take by Robards. Dashes it back. Strongly held by Teasdale. David Green. Good run by Green. Linked up with Bevan. The man that can slot them from halfway if he gets the chance. That's Brandon Lee, minus headgear. Alexander now with Clements. Alexander again. And a beautiful break around Filipana. He slipped him easily. Izzard, here's a chance. Clements has got it. Bevan, De Gonzalez and Green. Green's going to score the try. It's David Green. Great try to Penrith. And it started with Alexander's break and Filipana missing the tackle. Penrith get the first points 8 minutes into the game. And here's how it happened.
Beautiful play by Alexander. He goes the run round, takes it back, holds the ball up. Filipana not moving up onto his opposition. And Alexander loves that. Give him plenty of room, he takes it. Izzard, well played, got the ball away. Green, beautiful step inside, and there he is. The wingman, Izzard says go for the corner. And doesn't he just do that?
Here's his kick. He's hooked it just wide of the posts. Still 4-0 to Penrith then. 9 minutes into the game. Simmons in there. Goodwin. Goodwin. Good strong running from Matty Goodwin. Alexander. A bit of space, please. Gary Howe. Back to halfway, Penrith. 4 points up. Alexander down the touchline. Finds it. Starting to control the game a bit here. And Norse appearing just a bit ragged.
Beautiful kick by Alexander. He hasn't been playing well in the opening 2 premiership rounds.
Friend, a bit of a switch. Who is it? Mark Graham coming into the act. Graham been looking to his other players to do a bit. Cannon along the touchline. Robards onto it. Almost put his foot into touch. Gonzalez with Robards. Fine tackle. Friend chasing it. Gonzalez. It's 4-0 to Penrith. Green. Alexander off the side of his boot. Les Kiss. Casey. That's Rex Wright. Played rep football. Played for the state team. Mark Graham into a gap. Here goes Graham. Where's the support there? Great tackle by Robards. 5 metres out. North's a chance here. That's MacArthur. North needs some organisation to make this a try now. Jones tries to slip it. Intercepted by Green. Green into the clear. Keep going. No one will catch him. Green shows a clean pair of heels. He's gained the length of the field. And David Green's in for his second try. Well, North Sydney looked like scoring. They made a mess of it. And with a fullback up in the line, it was wide open for Green to have a clear run. Look at this.
Here you see Jones getting away an impossible ball. It really wasn't on. And Green says, let's get into top gear. Let's get out of here. Looks round. Nobody within cooey of him. Away he goes. Shows the speed. In for his second try. And that really was a wasted chance by the Bears. A great run by their skipper, Mark Graham. Put them in an attacking position. No one in support. And then a bad pass. A great try.
And that's 10-0.
Well, North Sydney they'll have to realise soon that they can't play it in the forwards. They have to get it out wide to get some points back.
And a great tackle from Greg Clements. And there's a high tackle. Now, Annesley, what's he going to do here? Let's have a look at this.
Yes, well, he's in the action. There's no two ways about it. Beautiful ball. If you like going to hospital. Down he goes. Dearie me.
Alexander finds Butterfield. Butterfield and Goodwin and Brandon Lee going very strongly. Alexander with that run around. Izzard, a beautiful break. Robards outside him. And MacArthur makes the tackle. Another pass would have been handy. Alexander. Oh, that's terrible. Nice bit of burglary there by Hansen. Friend. Hansen knew he had that ball as soon as the fellow was tackled.
Bit of breaking an entry there.
Bella. Good ball. Wright slips it. Graham gets it out to Simons. Covered by Robards. They needed a bit more support.
There was none there. That really is bad play. They've broken the line of defence twice, North, and not one man has backed them up.
Hansen. That's an untidy ball, and Izzard's fallen on it. North's playing some undisciplined football there. Very messy. Because it was only about 10-15 minutes ago that they were in a good attacking position, and Penrith came up with the points. Izzard's injured. Here's Graham. Someone inside. Cannon to MacArthur. Come on, North, your fans are waiting for a try here. What about putting one on the board? Right to Cannon. An optimistic bomb. Robards is there. He drops it. Look out. And just as well, Mark Bevan had his boot going. If he hadn't been near Robards, it was a try for sure.
This was a good kick. Looked as though it was going dead in goal, but Robards has had a good game so far. Lost sight of it and just gets his fingertips to it.
Simmons. Goodwin makes the bust. Where's the support? Pass knocked down. Friend knocked the pass down. And it was knocked on by Howe. See what happened in there. Did Friend get a hand of that?
No, I think Howell just took his eye off the ball.
Friend was up there.
It was obvious that Friend wasn't going to make the tackle. Showed no interest whatsoever. And that's the man that's got to take control out there. There's no link to the three-quarters.
There goes Friend. Well, it was another break that could easily have resulted in a Penrith try there. MacArthur. And this time, Penrith offside.
Well, just over 6 minutes to the half-time break. And there's no doubt in my mind that the coach from North Sydney, Brian Norton, will have plenty to say. He's got to change the tactics. They're lacking a leader out there, and that surprises me. Mark Graham, classed as one of the best in the world. He really hasn't shown anything today, especially in the leadership qualities.
Simons. Right, Friend. Bella. Clements and Brandon Lee with Matt Goodwin. Hansen. He stumbled and then went down in Simmons' tackle. Right again. Friend. Cannon. MacArthur. Lovely run by MacArthur. Cannon again. Hansen. Come on, North. What are you doing there? Keep it going. Hansen. So they're 10 metres out. Another chance for North. They've been down here a few times. There's Cannon. He kicks ahead. And Goodwin grabs it.
That's not good kicking by Friend. They're just kicking to the... Penrith will be happy if they do this all day. They're not stretching. They're not even putting a lot of pressure on Robards when they kick. They're just kicking the ball and standing still, waiting for Penrith to bring it back up to them.
Gonzalez back to halfway, Penrith. Simmons. Gary Howell. Here's Goodwin. They're running pretty free there. A few holes appearing in the defence. They've bust the front line a couple of times. Clements. Clements for the corner. Finds touch. North just trudging back into possession.
Here you see a great kick by Clements. And that's the difference between a good professional footballer. He gives himself time. I know North Sydney aren't moving up all that quick.
There goes the famous Panthers siren. Now, a bomb. Will we see a repetition of the first game of the season? Remember Manly's try? A field goal from Roy Simmons. Look at this. It's short and wide. MacArthur's got it. And what's MacArthur going to do? Norths have won 4 and Penrith 2 with a tight head to the Panthers. Penrith lead in the penalties and the score at half-time with 2 tries to Green and a goal to Alexander. Penrith 10, Norths 0.
The coach Norton obviously realises they can't get through this very eager defence by the Penrith side.
Look at Izzard at 5'8". What a run. He came in at 5'8" from the scrum. Cut them to pieces for a moment. Connor. Grabbed by Paul Gearan. Penrith, look out when they get a bit of room. Lee. Good tackle by Gavin Jones. Terrific tackle on Lee. Really hurt him. Howell. Howell slips through. Howell's into the clear almost. Gonzalez has got it. Big danger for North here. Penrith close to their 3rd try. Howell again. And Goodwin's in. Matt Goodwin's in. Always worth following Gary Howell. And Goodwin finished it off beautifully.
This is something that Penrith are doing and North Sydney are not. Watch Alexander, beautiful ball, puts him through to the gap and switches. That's called backing up the man with a ball.
A throw-over kick for Greg Alexander. His second goal of the match. Chalks up 20 points for the season. How, when I say that with three other Penrith forwards, the 4 changes in the pack from last week. It's had an effect. Gary Howell, a big game, taps it forward. Wright knew he was offside, so he didn't tackle him. Now Penrith starting to take control. Clements, Robards, Izzard, Green. He cut back in field. Graham grabbed him by the scruff of the neck. Clements, Connor. It's Craig Connor on the last tackle on the North quarter. 16-0. Alexander, chip across field, straight into the throat of Cannon. Well, picked it up well too.
You may have heard the sigh. Really was expecting something better than that. That was champagne football by Penrith. That is football at its best.
Rex Wright down the touchline. Kiss doing well to come back in field. Determined running by Les Kiss. Izzard took a knock behind play. Cannon, someone take it. MacArthur running beautifully. One of their most determined backs, John MacArthur. Bella, Friend. They're all standing still. Casey. Paul Gearin slips. Last tackle North. Friend. Cannon, a hurried kick. That's Bevan. Gonzalez. "30 minutes left in the game. Still time for North to claw their way back. Green. Graham covering. Simmons. Good ball for Robards. Robards splits them. And a fine covering tackle from Friend. Clayton Friend covered up. The two little men in a battle there. Clements. Alexander. Pops it up for Goodwin. Goodwin charges ahead. And Goodwin's going to score if they don't cut him down. MacArthur got him a metre short. Last tackle. Feed it out. Connor's in. Craig Connor scores a simple try. And North Sydney, their defence really shaken apart by that run of Matt Goodwin's. The 4th try of the game to Penrith.
This is beautiful football. This is how you back up the man with the ball. They allowed Alexander plenty of time. And look at the big fella go. Look at those knees, up and down. Nearly makes it. Now notice the Penrith player getting him to the ground. Quick play the ball. Come on, I need it. And simple as that.
Easy shot. 2 points. So the Panthers lead 22-0.
That shows you how tired the Bears are. There was only one man behind to play the ball. Only one Bear. The rest were still walking back from the play the ball situation.
Teasdale. 9 minutes left for the Bears. Gavin Jones, good little bust, MacArthur. Gavin Jones has had a big game. Kick ahead, they're after it, this could be a try. Oh, Robards just got to it. He kicked it dead. That was very nearly North's first points of the game. Cannon kicking ahead and almost won the race to the ball. Robards just beat him to it.
The forwards, Goodwin, Simmons, Butterfield, Howell, Connor, Lee, they've all done their share.
Gentle goes into dummy half. There's Fenton, he's over. Fendon scored. No try. Whoops. Yep. Well, let's see that again because he was over.
Well, this gives you some indication of a very tired side. Look at the defence in complete disarray. But the referee was correct. Couldn't get the ball down.
That's Chris Houghton, regular first grader a few seasons back. Simmons wants someone, got Longhurst. Murchie's got him. Penrith a chance to finish with a try, almost full time. Matt Goodwin charges ahead. Had a big game, Matty.
They'll put a move on here.
Right, Connor. Longhurst stepping well, he's over. Gary Longhurst, the reserve grade hooker who came on to replace Alexander, has scored the 5th try for the Panthers today.
Very simple, miss the man out. There's the missed man, and there's the gap. And there's been a few of those today. And well done by the young kid. Take notice, just watch how awful this North's defence. There you see the man all at sea. 4 men, no straight line.
Bevan's shot, a beauty. Second goal for Mark Bevan. There's the siren, that's it. A massive win to the Panthers. They lost the early grades to Norths, but in the main game today, they scored 5 tries.
Welcome to the NEC big game for this Winfield Cup round 3 match between the Balmain Tigers and the Parramatta Eels. And today the Channel 10 sports cameras take you to Balmain's home ground, Leichhardt Oval. The Tigers have had 2 games so far. First a tough win over Canterbury here, followed by a win last weekend over Canberra. Their team readout is Gary Jack, John Davidson, Ross Conlon, Paul Bevan, Russell Gartner, Gary Bridge, Scott Gale, Wayne Pearce captain, Kevin Hardwick, David Brooks, Paul Sirenen, Ben Elias and Kerry Hemsley. Meanwhile, the Eels, also on 4 points, had a first-up bye, followed last weekend with that big win over St George at the christening of their stadium. The Parramatta team readout: Paul Taylor on the wingers, Graham Atkins. Neil Hunt goes to the centres to partner Brian Jackson. And on the other flank is rookie Tony Casato. Brett Kenny, Peter Sterling, Ray Price captain, Steve Sharp, Paul Mayer, Stan Jerd, Michael Mosley and Terry Leabeater make up the team. And the referee for this Balmain Parramatta clash is Kevin Roberts. Quite a big crowd here at Leichhardt too to see the start of this match, with the Tigers running into the teeth of quite a strong wind as Kenny brings the ball back 15 metres out from his own line. And that's Hunt that's wrapped up there by Gale. It's Terry Leabeater. Now Jerd. It's my opinion that Parramatta has to get on top in the forwards today. There is no doubt that they look a little bit inferior in the 3 quarters, and therefore the big men are going to have to win the fight up front.
I bet you never thought you'd be saying that about Parramatta.
Fair comment. This is Gary Jack. Play just into Balmain's territory. Gardner. Pearce. Head-on tackle by Taylor. Jerd over the top. This is Paul Sirenen. Oh, Taylor cut him down. Bridge. Bridge! 5 gone. Elias. Taylor again, another magnificent tackle. Here's this little man, he cuts Sirenen down and Elias in that set of 6. Big day too for Paul Taylor when I think about it, because if he's going to be considered for that Kangaroo Tour, even as a utility player, it'd still be nice for him to have an equal rating as a fullback with Gary Jack. Mosley tackled on the halfway. Siren and the tackler. Roberts had his eyes turned. He was checking the 5 when he probably could have given a penalty. Sterling's kick has been placed into open pasture. Jack. Well, there's the good chase by Parramatta. Balmain back on their own 10. Gartner. Good tackle by Sharp. Here's Hemsley. Now Conlon. Solid tackle. Priceley, the chief destroyer. Sirenen. Parramatta's had a good start to the day. They won 23s, 18-12 and 26-20 the reserves. Kick is going all over the place. Oh, it's come down for Hunt. Casado's the dummy half. His first touch in first grade premiership football. And what a giant step for the young lad. From Ashcroft High Commonwealth Bank Cup last year to the top grade in the matter of about 6 months. It's only been rivaled by players like Sterling and Alexander. And there he is over there, a lanky boy, Tony Casado, playing on the wing. And this is Paul Taylor, tackled on the Balmain 22.
I don't think Casado will have any problems with a step up in class. His problem will be he's playing in a position that he's unaccustomed to. First grade wing, positional play is very important.
Sterling coming in for some treatment. His mares, the last time he kicked the ball, St George got 6 points, and this time he's spot on. Big Paul Mares. He was responsible probably for the only blemish in the Parramatta performance last week, and he would have been having nightmares over it probably for the last 7 days. Good-sized crowd here at Leichhardt. It's a great rugby league arena. But the weather, heavens above. There's more cut out for surfing. There's a valuable scrum win for Parramatta against the feed. Price dummies and Jinx back in behind to play the ball, but the markers were still at home. And there goes Mosley burrowing for the line. Now they've got to stretch this ball wide to the left, I reckon. There it goes to Sterling, and oh, Taylor came in and went without it. Gary Jack puts it down. 10 metres out from the Balmain line. This is the NEC replay. Maybe Gary Jack got a hand to it. Benny Elias in close up there. He'd be a worried man after losing that one against the feed. Or losing it with the feed. Here's Sterling, Kenny. Plenty of traffic around Kenny. 11 metres away. On the Latcham Robinson side of the ground. And this is the Mares. Mosley, the dummy half. No marker. He'll get that marker. No, he let him go. It's a penalty. Now he got him. Yeah, well, he had to go, David Brooks. He was never in an onside position. He was never in the orthodox marking position. And you didn't have to be a rugby league student to pick it. So Neil Hunt will attempt the first penalty goal of the match.
And this is an area where Balmain have got a decided advantage with Ross Conlon taking the goal kicks for them. Hunt will need to be on target a lot better than he was last week.
Taylor, some bandage. Right wrist, probably right thumb. How strong's that breeze, Graham?
Well, Ray, we often talk about it, especially in this first half. Parramatta have certainly got to make good use of it. We saw Gary Bridge get Balmain home in the second half against Canterbury in the very first game of the season, and I think that if Parramatta don't come up again with, say, an 8 or 10 point advantage in this first spell, they're in pretty big trouble.
Okay, so there it is, the Hughes assessment, 8 to 10 points. Oh, Neil Hunt has made an awful mess of this. Here's the Parramatta chase, though, and Gartner has done magnificently to get back into the field of play. Pearce getting away from Jackson.
Unfortunately for Neil Hunt, goal kicking is very much a confidence thing, and his confidence at the moment will be rock bottom.
Quite obviously, Eden is not playing well enough to be in the top grade.
And Mike Eden also suffered an injury today in the reserve grade, so I doubt that Parramatta could use him if they wanted to.
Gale. Hemsley out wide, and around the legs is Taylor again. Big dummy by Elias. Flick passes to Hemsley. In it goes for Sirenen. And that's a turnover. The second in the match. Price goes from dummy half. Kevin Roberts getting in the road. Taylor from dummy half. Play in the centre of the park. No marker. Taylor pinches another 10 metres. That was very sloppy marker defence. In fact, it just wasn't there at all from Balmain. Sterling, Mears. Sharp's coming up. 15 metres out from the Balmain line. Parramatta have had all the ball, all the territory. Sterling, that's Mosley. Oh, good tackle by the Tigers. Gale and Brooks. 5 tackles gone. Here's Sterling with the grubber. Now it's a little chip over the top. Atkins goes hard, but it's fielded there in the in goal by John Davidson. And he's ruling that it is the tap from the 22, the bomb taken in goal. But I got the impression that he was in the field of play, most definitely when he came to ground, and then was forced back into the in goal. And I'm sure that NEC replay would vouch for that. We're not going to go back and show it again, but that's the way it was seen. Here's a penalty to the Tigers. Nil all, the NEC big game from Leichhardt. Leabeater and Jerd making the tackle. So one of the very few occasions that Balmain have seen the ball in the first 9 minutes. That's Brooks. The pass looked a shade forward. There's Steve Roach out of the team today, but he's running the sponge. Here's Bevan. Bridge. Off the right foot goes Gale. I'd love to see him run more. Elias to the blind for Bridge. It's a neat little kick by Gary Bridge. The scrum will go down only about 7 metres out from the Parramatta line. Scrum win to Parramatta. Sterling decides to take the tackle of Gale and Brooks. Price. They'll just ruck this out, Parramatta, very simply towards the 22, and then it'll be down the ground. Jerd. Nothing fancy, either dummy half or a forward off the dummy half. Mears may take it for one. No, he's running a decoy for Leabeater. And now they're into a kicking position, so Sterling will come in behind. Here he is. And that's a good-looking kick. It's gone well down behind Gartner, and it's between the full-back and Gartner. Gartner's played at the ball. They're all onside now. And Jackson is there with Hunt, the 2 centres, to make the tackle. Keep in mind the breeze is with Parramatta. In the first 40 minutes, assessed between 8 and 10 by Graham. Here's Bridge, and wrapped up by Jerd. He's lost the ball. Kenny's off. Kenny will score. Well, I'll be blown. What a mistake for Gary Bridge and for Balmain. And there couldn't have been a worse bloke on the scene at the time, as far as Balmain are concerned, than Brett Kenny. Because once he gets the ball in his hands, he goes from nothing to 25 k's per hour in 3 strides. NEC replay, it was just so simple. Jerd made the tackle on Gary Bridge. The ball popped out the side, and Kenny said, thank you, here's another try.
The most important thing when you've been tackled is that when you get up, you've still got the ball in your hands. That wasn't the case, and Brett Kenny, he's a master at capitalising on mistakes. He scooped up the loose ball, headed for the try line, and he did it oh so easily.
Brett Kenny, a genius footballer. Whether you support Parramatta, it doesn't matter. He is an absolute freak of a player. There's Hunt getting the extras. So Parramatta are leading Balmain by 6 points to 0. You're watching the NEC big game. Ross Conlon brings it back for the restart. And that backdrop of naked bodies above the belt line anyway. This is Atkins. Mosley.
Once again, that was very slack marker defence by Balmain. They're going to sleep.
Sterling, a little chip. There goes Kenny. Gale's there. The ball covered up beautifully by Scott Gale. Kenny's hurt himself. Out to Elias on the bridge. Away it goes for Davison. There's the replay of the ball being beautifully covered up by Gale. Kenny still down in the back play. Here's Brooks. Sheridan. Low Mares, High, Taylor and Jerd. Kenny's trying to get some feeling in his right leg. Conlon, a one-handed pass to Pearce. He gallops out of a tackle, gets it to Gart. Oh, that's got to be a penalty. Poor old Kerry Hemsley was running along there, supporting his winger, Gartner. There was only one problem. Kerry was in front of him. Have a look at this. Hemsley says, thank you. I hope the ref didn't see this. He did. Kenny's on his feet. It's just above that right buttock. Of course, if they're to lose Kenny, that would leave them with a very much chopped around team in the back line. Eric Groth's out of the team, as is Mark Laurie. In fact, Eric is with Graham Hughes now.
Eric, that first try, this is sort of breaks that can throw a game open for you.
Oh, it certainly does. It's a simple mistake by Balmain. It's 6 points for us, and it could be vice versa as well.
You're certainly going to need it. I've assessed this wind at their backs worth probably 8 or 10 points in this first half.
Yeah, it doesn't look that strong, but it is strong when you get out in the middle there, and I think they should use it to their advantage.
What's the extent of the injury, Eric?
It's a hairline fracture of the heel.
Something like a fast bowler.
As I said before, we play a bit of cricket at training, but seriously, it's just something that we train on the hard grounds, and I've got flat feet. It's just something that's come up the last few weeks.
Any period of time you should be back?
I'm hopeful to be back next week.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
Well, you just saw Kenny again weaving his own special brand of magic. There's a little kick. Oh, Price has been pulled down by Bevan. It'll be a penalty. It'll be a penalty to Parramatta. 9 metres out from the line. And Paul Bevan, the offender. Price was just almost, well, he was lassoed by Bevan. There he is being put down. So Hunt will take this penalty kick. I was about to say it's an easy one, but not for Neil Hunt, it's not. It's a fair dinkum horror stretch for Neil, just placing the ball.
But the kick that was put through by Peter Sterling is an indicator that he's going to cause all sorts of problems for Gary Jack, the Balmain fullback. He did it last week to St George. He's just able to land the grubber kicks in goal and gives you a tremendous problem if you're the fullback.
Sterling said about himself today, he doesn't classify himself as excellent in any category of rugby league. He just thinks he does everything reasonably well. Here's Hunt. He's missed it. Well, it's a huge problem. I don't care how good Parramatta is. This is a huge problem for them. 6-0 in favour of the Eels.
Player like Neil Hunt, each time he misses one, he's probably more likely to miss the next one just because of that drop in confidence.
So here's Sterling now.
In the end, you'll find that Hunt will be refusing kicks that are fairly simple ones. He just won't want to take them at all.
This is Casato. Now they must be wishing Steve Ella was back. Here's Taylor. Now to Price. Short ball for Sharp. Mares. Scrums 3-0 to Parramatta, and the penalty's 2-1 to them. Here's Sterling again putting that kick very deliberately over the head of Gary Jack. And the chase is an excellent one, and Sterling's going to make the tackle with Taylor. The twins making the tackle 10 metres out. Here's Gale. Now Sheridan. Low tackling by Price and Mosley. Gee, Balmain have seen plenty of their own 22. Kenny around the bootlaces on Pearce. To the blind side for Benny Elias. He puts the kick in. And it's going to find the line. Good kick by Benny Elias. Just 15 metres away from the Parramatta line. Oppressive conditions for rugby league. These big men are going to start to feel it with about 20 to go, I'd reckon. Balmain winning the scrum. That levels up that situation of scrums won against the feed. Here's Gale wrapped up by Mayers and Kenny. And now to Jack. Jack taken in a ball and all tackle by Taylor. This is Bevan again, Taylor. Heavens above, what's his tackle count already, the little fullback? This is Hardwick. Round the legs that time was Mosley. Balmain within 10 metres. Oh, flick pass by Benny Elias. Finding Wayne Pearce running strongly. 5 tackles gone for the Tigers. Gary Bridge can see the line. He flicks it out to Brooks. It's chipped over the top by Gale. Graham Atkins takes it. He loses the ball in goal. And it'll come out to the 22 for the restart. No, he's taken it to the line, of course. He pointed to the 22 and then back to the line. Let's see it again. Atkins seemed to take it and then lose it. Yes, I think Kevin Roberts was suggesting that the impact of the tackle coughed the ball out. But then I think he was corrected by a touch judge. It's lost well before Atkins came to ground with it. That's a great drop kick, although the breeze is at their back. And this is Jack going back to Price, and Price gets him. Here's Brooks. Mayers and Leby to the tacklers. 6-0 in favour of Parramatta as Elias throws a dummy and Sterling cuts him down. Out the back comes the ball and Hardwick runs with it. Around the legs is Jackson. This is Bevan. Oh, out the back from Pearce, and I think he's going to rule Parramatta ball. Now, if he does, that's a bit unfair because it seemed to come off the hand of Neil Hunt and went forward, and then Kenny dived on it. So Parramatta are given the benefit of a very grave doubt in my view here, but Jerd it is with the ball. Struggling his way towards the 25-metre point. Now Lee Beater. It's not the same type of football you might recall seeing from Parramatta against Illawarra in the National Panasonic a couple of weeks ago. The kick from Mayers will find touch, I think. Yes, crossing it right on the 22. The ball hit and then came back. Six handling errors for Balmain, none for Parramatta. Incidentally, Taylor had made, or has made, 7 tackles. And when you talk about Taylor making 7, you're talking about first-up stuff, one-on-one stuff. Here's Kenny. Oh, Taylor misread the play totally there.
Terry Leabeater would be a disappointed man to pull his head out of the scrum and see that, because in the previous scrum it was a Balmain feed, a Balmain loose head, and it was Leabeater that threw his foot out and dragged the ball back for them.
Balmain coming up with this scrum. Gale met by Kenny and Price. Now it's Conlon. Pearce. Good run by Pearce. Now Bevan. Now the chase is on. Gardner is going fast with Casado. I thought Gardner was pulled back. No, he did not ground the ball, but I still think there's probably enough reason to believe there should have been a penalty anyway. You certainly can jostle one another in pursuit of the ball, but see that there? Casado had Gardner by the jumper and tried to pull him back. It should have been a Balmain penalty. See it again. Well, that's the actual failure of Gartner to place the ball. Should have been a Balmain penalty. No doubt in the world.
Absolutely none, but what it did expose was that Tony Casado just couldn't go with Russell Gartner for pace.
Well, let's be fair to Casado, Bill. He is a 5/8 playing wing. Here's Gartner. Here's Mayers. Now it's Hunt. Now it's Kenny. Kenny's on fire. Jack's got him. The ball goes to Casado, and Casado's tackle just outside the 22. To talk about the injustice of rugby league. Gartner is getting attention still back in his own, or back in Parramatta's 22 zone. Jerd. It's away to Casado. He gets the pass around the back for Taylor. 5 tackles gone for the Eels, and Taylor is hurt. Taylor struggling to get up, but can't. Gartner's back on his feet. He'll have a story to tell, I would think, Russell Gartner, at the half-time break. So Parramatta are on their last tackle as Taylor prepares to play the ball. They've probably put the bomb up, or the grubber. There it is. It's come off a Balmain player who did not play at the ball. Back to Lee Beater, around to Jerd, back to Mayers. Mayers gets it out the back for Taylor. Taylor puts a kick up. Hardwick knocks it down. It's 6 more tackles. This is Price with the ball now. 10 metres out from the Balmain line. And Parramatta's got 5 more. Here's Sharp around 1. Marker defence is disgraceful from Balmain. Played back to Mosley, then to Sterling, on to Taylor. Taylor still going, out she comes, and forced in goal was it by Hardwick. Replacement on the sideline, Graham Hughes.
Balmain, Steve Humphries in 14 on the sideline to go on for Russell Gartner. It looks like he might have popped either a shoulder or an elbow, Ray.
So here's Gale taking Balmain out of the danger zone. 24-minute marker first half. Hemsley. 5 tackles gone, so they'll be going for everything here, Balmain. Here's Gale. His kick is going to go close to the line, but no, it's in field for Casado to come back with it to the halfway and beyond. He's lost the ball. Mayers has picked it up behind him. The referee has ruled a knock on. Gartner leaving the field. Shoulder wrapped up in that would-be sling, or make up sling, as we find Jack going to the block. Now it's Bridge. Oh, Bridge was looking for runners and nobody wanted to run. Well, a few of the Balmain supporters starting to heckle their team. They're not happy with what they're seeing at the moment. Of course, they probably feel they should have had a try on the board, but there's a couple of areas, vital elements of the game, that they've got to fix up, and fix up pretty quickly. Ball to be played there by Pearce. Here's Gale. The kick's going to go straight to Sterling. Oh, Sterling missed it. Well, that's a big break for Balmain, because it'll give them everything, the feed and the head. And then you would think 6 tackles in which to put points on the board. They're trailing 6-0. Mistake by Sterling.
It's a good attacking position, this, for the Tigers, and Gary Jack's the man that often creates problems for the opposition from here.
Here's Conlon. Oh, Conlon was thinking about the next play. It's an error that you see from a lot of players from first grade right down. And it's a penalty now to Parramatta against Gary Bridge. Here's the tackle of Bridge on Taylor, and the referee ruled that Bridge did not let him get up and play it. And here's Atkins going in ground a few metres into Balmain's territory. Dummy half Mosley. Lee Beater.
going on out there. Basic stuff getting by. Mayers doing a lot of running, Mayers, but he hasn't straightened up as yet. He went 20 metres one way, came back 20 metres the other way, and he didn't go 1 yard forward. Hunt, now it's Jackson. Taylor's with him. This is Taylor. Here comes another try. That's a pretty good try. Sustained backing up. Sustained communication. Parramatta in for their second try of the match. As the ball went to Sterling, he held it up and got it away perfectly to put Hunt into a hole. And then Jackson supported Hunt, and then he did very well to get the ball around the corner to Taylor. And so the three blonde-headed Parramatta players, the lookalikes, combined to score the try.
This try started with a great pass by Peter Sterling. He threw it straight into the hole, and it was Neil Hunt that angled back into that area to get the ball. He picked up Jackson. I thought Taylor positioned himself particularly well. He came from the inside and worked back to the outside to take the reverse pass by Jackson, who popped it up in the tackle. A great Parramatta effort.
Neil Hunt from a pretty wide angle. His feet went all over the place, but he's got the goal. He'll be a very relieved man. Parramatta leading by 12 points to 0. This is Jerd, now Taylor. Taylor, just as well Hemsley came over the top because he was about to give that ball. And there was going to be another break made by Parramatta. Here's Sharp going up the middle off a Lee-beater pass. 4 tackles gone now for the Eels as the ball goes to Sterling and now to Mayers. Mayers puts a kick in. It'll find it about 12 metres out from the Balmain line. Paul Mayers. He has a fairly capable kicking game, the same big fellow even allowing for last Sunday. And this scrum has collapsed. He'll give a penalty. Yes, he's got the Balmain front row for going down. So the Eels have got the penalty just 2 minutes in front of half-time. Sterling tells Price which play he wants. And there's Atkins taking it into the middle of the ground, or 1/3 of the way. Here goes Mosley.
If they can't come up with a 4-pointer, I'm sure on the last tackle they'll settle for the 1.
Price, he's over. Oh, that's a soft try. It had to come though, didn't it? That try just had to come because everywhere else around the ground, Balmain's been falling apart in the marker dummy half department. So it was pretty obvious they weren't going to have any resistance to offer close to the line. So Ray Price scores Parramatta's 3rd try, and the Eels lead by 16 points to 0. I can't believe this Balmain performance. We of course saw them against Canterbury. They were brilliant. They left it very late to beat Canberra. But today they've left their form in the dressing room. 2 out of 4 for Neil Hunt. He's missed it. And so the half-time siren will probably sound in front of the kick-off. 16-0 in favour of the Eels. Siren sounds, it's the end of the first 40. 16-0 in favour of Parramatta. When Roberts was not the most popular person at the ground as he left the field at half-time. He made one, in my opinion, one glaring mistake. He didn't appear to get the help from his touch judges that he should have got. But then again, that didn't contribute to the 16-0 totally, did it? Somebody else must have scored some points. Here's Humphreys now. Graham, you forecast Hemsley would come off, and I see Marquito is there now.
Yes, he's on in 24, Ray, and it was, as I felt, he's torn a rib cartilage, apparently, Kerry Hemsley. And also further news from the dressing room on Russell Gardner from the doctor, there's a dislocated shoulder.
It's bad luck for Russ Gardner. This is Sirinen going ahead with a bit more enthusiasm. They've got to do this, Balmain. They've got the breeze with them this time. The kick by Gary Jack, nicely placed. And it's Taylor back there with his winger Casato. The Balmain chase down the ground, quite good. And Casato's tackled on the 22 by Pearce. An interesting twosome in that match there, Pearce and Casato. I guess this time last year, Pearce was going around the schools and giving advice to fellows like Tony Casato, that being his permanent job. This is Mosley. Now Casato. 5 tackles gone. The Eels will kick. Mayers. Ooh. A shaky kick from Mayers. Bevan's going across with Humphreys folding back. And away goes this long, quite solidly built winger, Stephen Humphreys. Here's Sirinen. So Balmain now are out there without their recognised props of Roach and Hemsley, and a very big job falls back on the shoulders of Sirinen and Marquito.
I've seen Sirinen play a few times in reserve grade, and he's a good player who can get the ball away. I'm just a bit disappointed that in today's game he's not looking to do that. He's taking the ball up, he's taking it up hard, but he's got ball skills. I think he should use them, particularly with 16-0 down.
Humphreys tackled by Hunt. Plays about 30 metres out from the Parramatta line. Gale puts up the bomb. Casato under pressure, but he took it nicely. He withstood the pressure and has been put over the touchline. Good tackle by Ben Elias. I think Gale, very much on purpose, decided that he would test that corner that Casato was guarding. And it's a penalty to Balmain. It's against Sterling for not retiring. Hemsley, I'm told, had a pain-killing injection before the game, so it obviously didn't work.
Well, I've said it before in this game, but it's still applicable. Gary Jack, a dynamic ball runner. He's got to get involved in these areas.
Beautiful, I was about to say a beautiful flick pass by Elias, but it all backfired. And Lebeater falls on it and plays it for Parramatta. This is Sharp with it. The Eels kicked on 15 occasions in the first half. 11 of those kicks were from Sterling. Here's Taylor, put into a hole by Mosley.
And once again, it was that area around the ruck. Parramatta simply took the ball one pass wide, then turned it back in through the middle, and the Parramatta ruck defence was found wanting. The Balmain ruck defence was found wanting.
Played by Mayers. Out to Sterling, gets away from Conlon, puts in a kick. It's going to Gary Jack, but he's going to let it go. And this scrum will go down about 32 metres away from the Balmain line. Off the boot of Sterling. Balmain made 10 handling errors in the first half, Parramatta 5. Scrum win to the Tigers. This is Bridge. A good fend on Sterling. There goes Humphreys, but Kenny's after him. Humphreys comes back in ground. Gary Jack is flying. Neil Hunt's got him. Oh, that's a bone-crushing tackle by Hunt and Kenny. Humphreys, Bevan, cuts out Gale. Davidson, it's gone away to Conlon now. Back to Pearce. Pearce is going for the corner. It's a try. That's a great try by the Tigers. Whoa, look at the joy now on the faces of the Balmain supporters as the Tigers do it again for you on the NEC replay. It was a mid-wicket catch by Davidson that kept it alive for Conlon to go on and give it to Pearce. Jackson tried hard, but Pearce was in.
Well, Balmain found the hard way to score, but score they did. I thought that this pass wasn't quite a good one. It should have been out in front of Davidson. He had to fall to take it. He got it to Ross Conlon. He said, well, I don't think I can get there. He then tried Wayne Pearce. And Wayne Pearce said, I know the way to go, and planted it down for the 4 points.
So Pearce, the captain, scores the try. I'm trying to think who it was, though, that put Humphreys down the right flank where it all started. There's big Roach out there in the trainer's gear, taking the messages and the water bottle out. Ross Conlon from the touchline. Breeze at his back. And in stark contrast to Parramatta's kicker, Neil Hunt. You wouldn't be laughed at if you said, oh, this was probably an easy one for Conlon. This will be a tremendous kick if he can get it. It's left the boot nicely, but it's away, wide of the uprights. 16 points to 4 in favour of the Eels. Incidentally, David Brooks in the first half of this match made 23 tackles to easily top the Balmain count. Wayne Pearce to the 22. Met and tackled by Sharp and Jerd. This is Benny Elias. This is Mike Makito. He's put it down. Parramatta's got the ball. 6-5 scrums Balmain, 5-3 penalties Parramatta. A stoppage. Sterling to feed it. Won by the Eels, out to Kenny. Kenny away to Hunt. The centre Bevan came up very quickly to turn them back in. Now it's Taylor from dummy half. Gain of a couple of metres. Mares continuing to pump away at the middle. Now Sterling, Kenny, Jackson! Jackson going for the corner. Gale makes a tackle. And a good one, pulling him down. They go from dummy half. 5 tackles and short of the line, says Kevin Roberts. Dummy half is Jackson. Away to Sterling. Sterling gets a kick in. And it's been cleaned up by Michael Makito. This was the little kick by Sterling. Let's see. Makito dived and he did very well. Sirenen now to play.
Sterling makes it very hard for you with those little kicks. He takes them right up to the defensive line, which of course means you're committed to go in and try and tackle him. He then just drops it onto the foot and lands the ball either in or near the in goal.
Brooks is tackled by Sterling and Jerd. 5 tackles gone. This is Benny Elias. Ball loose. And it's the turnover of possession. So the Eels come up with the football on Balmain's 22 as it goes to Kenny. Kenny gets it out the back as Conlon makes a desperate tackle. Steve Sharp is held now. Dummy half Mosley. Lee beater. No gain in ground for the Eels. Atkins. Through Sterling to Kenny. Kenny held it back. Then he gets it away for Taylor. On to Neil Hunt. Out to Brian Jackson. Jackson scores. Well, Jackson's name goes down as the scorer. But that was all Brett Kenny. That was all B. Kenny. He looks to me as though he is so close to his brilliant best at this part of the year that it's not funny. That's the NEC replay. Taylor did his part too. And then Hunt got the final ball for Jackson. But oh, heavens above. It's hard to believe there's a 5'8" in Australia that they reckon is better than him.
Balmain failed to finish. Brett Kenny off in the tackle, and you can't do that. He popped the pass up to Taylor, who's been living in the back line. He fired it on to Hunt. Hunt ballooned the ball over the top to Jackson, and he goes in to score Parramatta's 4th try.
Brian Jackson, the try scorer, he's played only 2 major games in the Eels club, and he's scored 2 tries, 1 per afternoon for young Jackson. And so we come back to Mr. Hunt. 2 from 5 for...
Just keep an eye on Steve Roach. He's the runner down there with the Balmain players, and just checking he doesn't put a Balmain jumper on.
Hunt has got it. He got it. Only just, but he got it. 22-4. Parramatta leading Balmain, the NEC big game. Sideline comment, Graham Healy.
Well, Ray, I didn't know if you didn't have time to talk about Benny Elias in that last set of 6 tackles. Balmain came out, they did the right thing, they put that try on the board in the first 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden when they came up with the football in their own quarter, they had this gale at their backs. And on the 5th tackle, Benny Elias, he should have known better. He tried to bring off something spectacular. They've got to stop, or I should say they've got to stop playing for themselves and think about their teammates.
This will be a Balmain feed and a Balmain loose head. A very good chance for the Tigers here. And they've lost it against the feet and the head, and Sterling darts outside the 22. It seemed to take them an age to wrap him up.
Terry Leibert has done some good work for Parramatta in the front row. He's been getting his outside foot to the ball and getting a couple of them back against the head.
Kenny taken to ground by Gale and Bevan. Here's Leibert. Very similar pattern to what we saw against the Saints last Sunday from Parramatta.
I don't want to sound too ominous, but I don't think that Parramatta are playing all that well. They're not in top gear yet.
You mean they're playing well in second gear? It's gone on to Mares now. You can't do any more than score 4 tries, Bill.
No, you can't. What I'm saying is I think they've still got improvement in them, particularly when some of the players that aren't there today come back.
Sterling's kick finding the line just inside the 22.
A great position for coach John Mooney to be in.
He's won another one against the head. Kenny turned. Oh, Atkins had the line open. The line was wide open for Graham Atkins simply to catch this pass. He couldn't have put it any better for him, and Atkins, well, his face tells the story. Balmain taking the penalty. Now, what's happening in the tunnel, Graham?
Well, Ray, there's 3 Balmain players there in the tunnel. They're probably in view now. Paul Clark, Mike Perry, the hooker, and also Bruce Barnell. I think they're all just there in the... He's already made 2 replacements. He's got 2 more that he can make, Frank Stanton. He's obviously not happy with that mistake by Ben Elias, and also Paul Clark, so 1 front row is probably to go.
Yeah, well, he's got a scrummaging problem. Bill's pinpointed that. I think he's given 100 out of 100 to Terry Leibiter. 4-1 the tight heads to Parramatta. This is Bevan. Now Bridge. Pearce. Away from Jurd's tackle. Away from Mares. Tackled eventually by Taylor down on the 22 line. Nice long run by the Balmain skipper. Now it's Gale. Gale reaches about 12 metres out from the line. They're wide to the left. Parramatta shuffling. Out to Bridge. Sirenen got in the road. Elias scoops it away for Hardwick. Hardwick puts it out the back to Bridge. I know what Frank Hyde will be saying right now. What are those forwards doing in the back line? And Frank, I say that as a comment of endearment. Nothing more, nothing less. As the ball goes over the dead ball line, it'll come out for a 22-place kick restart.
They're not doing much good.
Clark's gone on in 26. He was the regular prop last year. with Roach. It's Hardwick who's coming off. So Makito will probably go to the second row, I would think. Well, it might be Sheridan. Sheridan to the second row. Here's Hardwick coming off. Lee Beater, the pass seemed forward to Taylor, but allowed to go. He's all over the ground, the little fellow, Taylor. Sterling, Jerd, Sterling, cuts out sharp. Mears does a double take and gets it away to Kenny. Then he backs up and takes the reverse pass from Kenny. Now look at the big second rower go. He's down to the 22 line, and they've got him down there. But what a magnificent performance by a big man. He handled the ball twice and made a 50-metre sprint. This is Hunt. Hunt tackled about 15 metres out from the line. Parramatta getting some replacements ready. Bugden for one of them anyway. Here's Jerd. Jeremy Lillis in 24, Bugden 26. Sterling puts the grubber kick across and knocked on by Benny Elias. So this scrum will go down in front of the uprights as Bugden and Lillis go on. Jerd and Lee Beater come off. This is Bridge, away from Kenny, held by Barnes, gets it out the back, but it's forward. Off the ground, he said, not forward. The referee has ruled that the arm carrying the ball came in contact with the ground, and he's said that Bridge has passed from the ground. And you know, Kevin Roberts is spot on correct when you watch the NEC replay. The crowd are giving him a raspberry, but I'm sure when they go home and watch that replay, they'll actually see that he's held by a player and the ball, or the arm carrying the ball, has come in contact with the ground. Now that's the rule, and there's the replay to back Kevin Roberts up on this occasion. Bad luck for the Tigers. This is Mosley. Sterling. This is Jeremy Lillis. Bugden. Everybody's talking about Parramatta are a better team because not so many of them have returned from England this year. That may be the case. But I'll tell you where their biggest improvement is. It's the simple fact that he's got more personnel to choose from in his forwards. And I think he'd be the first to say that to you too, Manny. Here's Gary Jack bringing it out. Right in between them. He's going to go a long way, Gary Jack. Conlon, Wayne Pearce. Are they going to score a length of the field try? They may well do. Bevan's called Humphreys inside. Humphreys goes to the 22. That's where it all comes to an end. The joy of it has ended. But it was exciting stuff to watch them go 75 metres. And Sirenen undoes it all. But it's a penalty to Balmain. Penalty to Balmain. He's ruled that the Parramatta players were offside. Those players involved in the tackle. That's why he's at the 5 fingers up. 5 metres, thank you, gentlemen. He was allowing an advantage to run there, Kevin Roberts. A good piece of refereeing. Clark. Gale. 22-4. Parramatta leading with about 16 minutes to go. Pearce. And they've lost it. Sharp. Well, Balmain, of course, are behind by 18 points, and you can forgive them for trying something a little bit out of the ordinary, something a bit flash. Mind you, it's been a rarity to see them doing anything really well, but at this stage they've got to try and do something. Bugden plays the ball. It's away to Sterling. Sterling tackled just outside the quarter. 5 tackles gone. It's back there for Kenny to kick. And there's Kenny's kick crossing the sideline practically on the halfway mark. Bridge. He's penalised Parramatta's back line for being offside at the scrum. Here's Bridge again. Back to Benny Elias. And Elias wrapped up in the tackle by his opposite number, or correction, by Jeremy Lillis. Oh, it's a terrible pass to give anybody. Gale gets it away to Pearce. Don't know whether you noticed the indication from Kevin Roberts with that offside ruling at the scrum. There's Marquito coughing up possession again for Balmain. Oh, they're bumbling their way from one error to another, the Tigers. Conlon, Bevan, Jack, Conlon, Brooks, Elias, Pearce, and Sirenen it is who's eventually tackled 32 metres out from the Parramatta line. Pearce, Stephen Humphries can't take it, and it's dived on there by the Parramatta forward Lillis. Sharp. I'm just having a look at Paul Mears in the background. Graham, you're probably seeing the same. He's trying desperately to fill those lungs with oxygen.
Well, it's been a hard second half for all forwards, Ray. This heat has taken its toll on these guys in the early start to this season. Ray, there's another thing that just sticks in my mind about this Balmain side, though. We saw them get a penalty from that last scrum. They rushed it. They've got a nice breeze at their backs, which we've continually spoken about throughout this game. I can't understand why they've rushed so many things. It is inexperience for such a very experienced side. It's plainly dumb football.
Scott Gale diving on a loose ball. Davidson. He's like a jack in the box. He's down 3 times and got up. Here's Benny Elias going from dummy half inside the 22. 12 minutes of time remaining in this match. As Ross Conlon comes up with the ball, turns it back for Gale. Gale wrapped up by Bugden. Blindside for Mike Marquito. Now it's with Bevan. And it's a Shepherd, so it's a penalty to Parramatta. He's walked them 10 metres.
Balmain had a good scoring opportunity then. They had the numbers, but they're playing so badly in this game, they had no problems at all mucking it up.
I think he's going to put somebody in the... Is he putting somebody in the bin or calling timeout? No, he's just calling timeout. He's called Pearce over. It must have been Conlon who spoke offensively to the referee. And Roberts is telling the captain, you keep your players, you tell them to shut up, or otherwise I'll sin bin them. That simply would have come from frustration with Ross Conlon. He's one of the really good guys in the game. This is Sharp. Bugden. Now that came off the boot. It would have been play on, but Bevan has it for Balmain. Gale. Pearce. Oh dear, I think Parramatta's got it. No, they've knocked on 2. I can't believe that it's the same Balmain team that we saw a fortnight ago, or 3 weeks ago, was it, when they played Canterbury? I think everybody went away from the park thinking when they beat Canterbury that, well, gee, they're a premiership threat. If you were a bookmaker framing a market, you'd blow them out 10 points on what we've seen today. In time, I doubt very much that the same bookmakers wouldn't be firming the Eels price every time they go round. Here's Mosley submitting in a tackle over there to Davidson. Here's Steve Sharp. Sharp and Davidson exchanging a joke of some description. Here's Mears. Sterling, little shot for drop goal. I think he's got it. Yeah, Kevin Roberts says I don't think he has. A drop goal for Sterling. Scoreline 23-4. Sterling around the corner for Graham Atkins. Atkins going ahead, centre kicks. Who's up there? Taylor's there. Stephen Humphries and Taylor racing for the ball, but Humphries there with a mile of time as it turned out. Back for Scott Gale now. Beyond his own 32. Outside the 40. Pulled down near the halfway line by Sterling. This is Brooks. This is Clark. Jack. Makito. Jack into a hole. Good work by Makito. Kicks ahead Gary Jack. I think he's going to score. Yes, he does. That's a try for Gary Jack. Superb individual performance by the Australian fullback. Breathing some hope for the future, I would think, into the Balmain supporters who've seen this disappointing performance. But Gary Jack, he ran around Michael Marquito, who held the ball back nicely, and then Jack on the NEC replay was into a gap, and he was off and running. Then he used the kick to beat Paul Mears, then outsped Mears to score. That's a good try by Gary Jack.
It was a good try. Paul Taylor's had a great game. He was up in the defensive line in the front line, so there wasn't much he could do about it. Paul Mears came across in cover defence, but when Jack kicked ahead, the second rower didn't have enough pace to go with him, and Jack went in for the consolation.
So Gary Jack picks up the second Balmain try. And Ross Conlon taking the kick from out on the 22. Not a bad looker, but just wide again from Conlon. As the final seconds of this match tick away, Parramatta 23, Balmain 8. Kick off by Casado. Humphries. Elias away to Pearce. Price underneath, Sharp over the top. Gale, Bridge. A kick going straight to Taylor. Whoops! Taylor putting it down. Scrum to go down on the Parramatta 22 line. Bridge, Conlon, here comes Jack. Jack really coming alive in the last few moments of this game. Certainly wasn't a fullback's game as far as Balmain were going in that first half, with Sterling pinning Jack down inside his own in-goal area. But with the momentum behind Balmain for a portion of the second half, Gary Jack has been quite explosive. There's the siren sounding as Peter Sterling is the last man tackled. And here's the scoreline for you, with Parramatta inflicting a huge defeat on Balmain, 23-8. Kenny was brilliant today. Taylor was tireless. Price and Jackson picked up the other two tries. Hunt kicked 3 goals. Sterling kicked a drop goal. And for the Tigers, Wayne Pearce and Gary Jack each scored a try. Let's have a look at the results of other matches played in this round of Winfield Cup football.
Penrith yesterday, 28, Norths no score. Wests and Canterbury, an 8-all draw. Cronulla 14, Souths 0. Illawarra 22, Canberra 10. Parramatta 23, Balmain 8. And St George 16, Manly 15.
At Brookie, the match there got off to a fiery start with Manly and St George at each other inside the first minute of play. The Sea Eagles were first to post points, and they came 24 minutes into the match when Des Hasler scored a solo try. How's this for determination? The Dragons struck back not long before half-time when Slippery Morris crossed in the corner, and at the break, Manly led 6 points to 4. The second half was only 10 minutes old when the ever-consistent Des Hasler crossed for another opportunist try, and Manly led 14 to 4. St George got back into the match through Michael O'Connor's boot, and this try from Morris, he's second. The score now 14-all, minutes before full-time. Manly appeared to have the match won after this field goal. But they were denied victory right on the bell when O'Connor kicked another penalty goal, and the Dragons snuck home by 16 to 15 in a thriller. At Ronson Field, drop ball by both sides marred the fast-moving match. South paid the penalty first, though. Moon couldn't pass, Webb couldn't clean up, and Cronulla's Andrew Eddinghausen couldn't make up his mind for a moment, but then went himself. Midway through the second half, a skillful around-the-corner pass from reserve Mark Ellenson to skipper Greg Nixon put the Sharks further ahead. And then just a couple of minutes from the siren, it was Eddinghausen again. As it happened, it didn't matter that he cleverly accepted that forward pass from Errol Hillier to scoot into the corner and wrap it up 14-0. Over at Lidcombe Oval in a real turn-up. Early in the match, Canterbury and West were locked at 2-all. But midway through the first half, the West backline struck with quick hands getting the ball out to Rod Petherbridge. Now he kicked over the top and both Potter and Langmack missed the bouncing ball, but Brett Clark didn't, and he scored for the Maggies. Canterbury were trailing 8-2 until late in the game when halfback Hagan saved the Premiers from embarrassment to score under the posts. That plus the conversion to level the scores 8-all in the shock result of the round. And down at the Wollongong Showgrounds, the Steelers drew first blood when Ashley Gilbert was able to crash over and Illawarra led 4-0. At the break, the match was deadlocked at 8-all following this raid from Brett Atkins. He passed to Belcher and then unloaded to Terry Fay, who went in to score the try. But in the second half, it was a different story. The Steelers went on a try-scoring spree and ran out winners 22 points to 10.
So we look at the premiership table now, and the Eels are on their own in front on 6 points. Easts, Souths, Manly, Penrith, Balmain, Norths and Cronulla all on 4. Canterbury 3, Illawarra 2, the Saints on 2, West 1 and Canberra yet to open their account. Well, next week Manly plays Balmain, Canberra takes on Cronulla, Souths versus Wests, Parramatta meets Illawarra at the Parramatta Stadium, Canterbury, Penrith, Norths, Easts and St George have the bye. So that takes us out. I hope you enjoyed the highlights of the Balmain Parramatta match, the Canterbury Souths National Panasonic. And until we do it all again, I'm Ray Warren for this week of Rugby League.